Hey crew, how's it going? We're gonna do another Coffee with Clint segment. I don't know if it'll be as structured as some of the other content that I had last time, but figured I would check in, see how you guys are doing, see what's new in your life, let you know what's going on with me. How's everybody handling the quarantine and the different lockdowns in different states? I have friends from all over the country, so I'm kind of curious. I've been watching, trying to keep an eye on everybody, and I know it's a lot. There's a lot going on in our world today, and just kind of how are you navigating that? Who's working from home? Who's lost their jobs? How's your family? How's your relatives? Those type of things. I would love to know how you're doing in those regards. My family's generally safe and secure. One of the things that I wanted to bring up is we've been in this season at least for a little while now, and I know one thing that came to my mind that I wanted to share was I have this note down that your worth in the Father's eyes is not impacted by what you are able to contribute to society during this time. So I think a lot of people, they get the performance-driven people especially, they want to find answers, they want to do a task, they want to contribute, and it's all good. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. Like, we should love our neighbors and take care of the people around us, and check in on people that we love. But our worth and who we are as a person is not dictated by what we contribute. So don't feel like you're not doing it enough, or that you're not investing enough, or that you're not taking advantage of the opportunity to learn a new side hustle or something during this time. I feel like so often we get caught up in that, and it's not worth it during this time to get lost in that trap, because your worth is found in being a son or a daughter of God. And if your worth isn't in that, then you're gonna get trapped, and you're gonna be fighting for worth, because we are designed and created by a creator to find our worth in being in his presence. So it's gonna go die again. Hang on. It might be a little bit darker on camera, but at least the light's not gonna die on me. It might die on me. The other thing I wanted to mention was, and I saw this online, so it's not original Clint content for Clint, Coffee with Clint, but it is something I wanted to bring up, is during this season, like, don't make your kids feel like they are a burden to you by being around them more, or by them being around you more. That can be devastating during this time. They're already dealing with so much. They're losing friends. They're not able to be at school with people that they call their peers, but they want to spend time with you. They want to love on you. So I know that there's things you still have to accomplish. There's still work that has to be done if you work from home, but don't make your kids feel like they're a burden, because that's going to have an impact on them for who knows how long. So just love, encourage, spend time, bless your kids, bless your children. And beyond that, bless and encourage everyone around you. We're in a tough season, and we could all just use a little extra encouragement during this time. We're in a season of being faith. There's a war on faith over fear, or fear over faith, and so I think it's important for us to live from a state of hope. We're going to get through this. we're going to get through this, and the people that have a positive outlook are going to get out of it in a healthier place. So I would just encourage everyone to stay positive, stay hopeful, find ways to encourage the people around you. And if you don't feel encouraged, seek out encouragement. Like, don't be afraid to reach out to those around you during this time. There's a lot of times, so during the season we're trying to find stability, and we're trying to find things that will work in our lives that will anchor us during this time. And I think sometimes we find Netflix, or we find board games, or we find this, and some of this I mentioned in the last video, I think. But the one thing that I would add on to that is that the things that we do now to cope, whatever that coping looks like, is we don't want to accept a temporary band-aid to a permanent problem. So if you have this time with your family to mend relationships, mend them, and sometimes that means playing board games, or having movie nights, or going on nature walks, but sometimes that means gently having difficult conversations and addressing wounds that are there between you and different family members or loved ones or whatever. And you're not wanting to rock the boat because there's already so much instability. But when those opportunities come and you feel led to do so, that would be a thing that I would encourage, actually, is to have real conversations and not just skip over this moment. It's the same thing for people of faith, I would say. And I asked this to some people the other day. I said, what is one area in your heart or in your character that you want to see God move, and you want to grow, and you want to expand? What's one area that you want during this time when things are a little bit more low-key and it's not as frantic busy, and we have some more reflective time? What's an area where you want God to step in and transform? And that happens from unbeliever to believer, and that happens from believer to a maturing, growing believer. So look for those opportunities to grow in faith, and grow in your character, and grow in who you are as a person. I'm not going to talk about that. Let's see what else I got. Things will go back to a new normal. But what habits can you form in this empty space that you can propel you forward in your life in the future? So 21 days is all it takes to create a habit. We're in this lockdown for how long? So we're creating habits as we stay in this season with this virus. And so what areas or what ways can you propel your life forward in this next season by being diligent in what you have now? And so again, I'm not talking about side hustle. I'm not talking about working the grind. I'm not talking about all this. I'm talking about becoming a whole person now that can adapt to what the next season brings. When a train is moving 60 miles an hour, when a vehicle is moving down the interstate 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, it's hard to do repairs. But when we slow down, we pull off to the side of the road, it's a lot easier to change a tire on a vehicle on the side of the road, or in a service shop than it is when we're going at a frantic pace. And life has slowed down in some ways to where we can do that. We can analyze our life and say, this is something I want to grow in. This is something I want to build. This is something I want to change. What better time than now? We're always asking for more time. We're always asking for more time. And society, this virus, has caused us to have to pump the brakes a little bit. So, yeah, we're meant for habitual living. We're humans. We're designed for pattern. If you don't have a spot that you can get away, because a lot of people we're living different. I'm gonna put that down. We're living differently now. A lot of us are working from home, or a lot of us are unemployed now, and I would say look for ways to find quiet, sacred spaces in your home. Like, I think it's healthy for us to kind of section off and create parameters and time frames in our schedule, just because there's no rhythm, there's no pattern. So the more pattern that you can create in your life, the better during the season. Again, that includes washing your hands, that includes coughing and sneezing into your elbow, but look for those opportunities. I know from a believer standpoint, is finding a place that's sacred. A lot of people can't get out to church somewhere, but there still should be a place in your home that you're dedicated to meeting with God there, and He's going to show up because He's God and He's sovereign and He loves us and He wants to spend time with us. Even in this moment, He wants to spend time with us. So finding those places, finding those areas where we can, we can meet with God, and we know that we're setting everything else aside and we're connecting with Him in that time, and it's very refreshing. So look for those opportunities. What else? I don't know what that clicking was, but oh well. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. What do you guys have to say? What are your thoughts on the world? I've been sharing a lot of thoughts, but what's going on? Let me know. Let's share in life together and see where God leads us.